Hello and welcome to Fast Horses Today. Today is May 10th and it is Mother's Day. So before we get started, I just want to wish all the moms out there a very happy Mother's Day. We've got a lot of female viewers, so happy Mother's Day, moms. And if you have a mom, please wish your mom a happy Mother's Day. Hope you enjoy a wonderful day. I know that, back in the day, Arlington Park here in the Chicagoland area used to have a big Mother's Day deal. They would get upwards to 40,000 people that would come to the track on a day like Mother's Day. So that was really nice. I know that Santa Anita has a special Mother's Day brunch, so happy Mother's Day. I hope that goes really well for the folks there in Arcadia and everywhere around the country that has Mother's Day festivities. So again, happy Mother's Day, and be kind to mom today. And let's get started. We've got a lot of coverage here for Santa Anita. We've got a Pick 6 carryover that starts in the fourth race. So let's get started at the Great Race Place. So as I mentioned, Santa Anita does have a Pick 6 carryover. That does start in the fourth race, has an approximate post time about 2:33 Pacific time. So that's just after 4:30 here in the Central Time Zone. So for us folks here in the Central Time Zone, we might be finished with Mother's Day brunch and, have some racing to bet on. But I'm not going to play the Pick 6 today. What I am going to do is I'm going to play the late Pick 5. I always like to try that late Pick 5 on a carryover day. I feel like the pools do get inflated, and, it's a nice pool to get into. So, because folks come in with that Pick 6 money, they do have money for that Pick 5, that late Pick 5, which starts what would be the second leg of the Pick 6. I think that Pick 5 is always worthwhile. So over the past couple days on Fast Horses Today, we've had a couple Pick 5s that came really close, but close really doesn't cut it. In horse racing, you've got to be perfect. Close just kind of gets you frustrated and a little amped up maybe. But anyway, as a horse player should always do is turn the page. We're going to turn the page to today. Got a late Pick 5 that does start in the fifth race. The fifth race has an approximate post time about 3:06 Pacific time, so just after 5 o'clock here in the Central Time Zone. The fifth race starts us out. It was a 6-furlong turf sprint that's on the flat grass. These are maiden special weights. These are California breds, and these are 3-year-olds only, so they're still able to run 3-year-olds only, which makes it pretty interesting here. Now, there is a big favorite in this race we'll get to momentarily. I'm going to put 3 horses in to try to get this Pick 5 started. I'm going to put the 2 Brian Corner horses here, horses trained by Brian Corner. That being the one horse was Confidence Man. Antonio Fresu takes the call here. Now, Confidence Man, I think, has been working out at times with his stablemate, that being the 4-horse De Facto. And, I think that they've probably, done well against each other in these workouts. So, I like the turf sprint, first starter. Brian Corner, I think can get him ready. Corner does get horses ready off layoffs, and he does, right now he's not showing a good first start record, but Corner definitely is a guy who trains, speed. I think maybe his quarter horse background maybe comes into play. I think these are a couple nice horses. One of them could break their maiden. So I'm going to put both the 1 and the 4. I'm also going to put the favorite, who is the 3, Mad at 5. Mad at 5 comes in for Peter Miller now. This horse was trained previously by Carla Gaines. So a trainer switched there. I don't know if this horse has been sold. I didn't look up the ownership group. But anyway, now in the Peter Miller barn, coming off 2 very nice efforts, Mad at 5. Mad at 5 is even money in the program. Here's the question at Mad at 5 is both of those nice starts have come on the dirt where he got beat by, a couple nice horses and, looked like Mad at 5 probably could have broken his maiden. They're going to switch over to the turf today. Don't know if that's going to be a good thing or not. It just makes me a little hesitant, to single a horse like Mad at 5 at even money, changing, surfaces. So we're going to put the 1, 3, and the 4 in the fifth race to try to get this Pick 5 started. All right, now let's move over to the sixth race of the day. Sixth race, this is a starter allowance race. They're going 6 furlongs on the dirt, so a dirt sprint, 3-year-olds and up. Starter allowance, these are horses who have run for 62.50 or less in the last couple years. Now, here's what I don't understand. If they're going to, run these starter allowance races, they should probably make them, make weight a factor here. That's what starter allowance races used to be, is that you'd put weight. So they're not doing that here. But anyway, I'm going to put 2 horses in. I feel like one of these 2 will get this Pick 5 advanced and moved along. I'm going to put the 5 horse, who is Melanie's Tiger, from Manuel Badia. Kyle Frey takes the call. Now, we saw Badia had a nice winner over the weekend in a turf race. I know Medea certainly could get horses going and gets wins. He's been around for a while. He owns his horse as well. I like the film in the last race this horse ran. I think, this horse ended up running third to Win Ribbon, who Win Ribbon is in this race. But I think Melanie's Tiger probably needed the race off a pretty good layoff. I just think it was maybe a get him over the track type of race here. And, Melanie's Tiger, in his past races certainly puts him in the thick of things here. And I think just off that last race, looked to me like that was a, need the race type of effort. I think this horse can improve here. 12-1, nice long shot. We'll see if Melanie's Tiger can get it done. And then I am going to put the 6th horse, who's Alpine Thunder. For Joe Hernandez barn, Tiago Pereira takes the call. Now, this horse has been very, very popular in the claim box, having been claimed for $5,000 in his last couple starts. He got claimed from Joe Hernandez. Joe Hernandez claimed the horse back from Lorenzo Campazano. So, popular horse in the claim box. The original owners looked like they went back and got him, and the trainer as well. Alpine Thunder, and watching his film, this horse, really tries hard and puts a run every time. I like the fact that this horse is going to break out from the outside, post here. Well, towards the outside. There is a horse outside of him, but I do like the outside position. If this horse breaks clean, which we're just hoping the horse can break clean, I think he'll be right up there close and should make a difference there in the stretch. 5-2, Tiago Pereira. Pereira has ridden this horse the last few times, a couple second place finishes and a win. The win coming at a sprint distance of 6 furlongs, which this is here. I think Alpine Thunder just looks to be in really nice shape here. Shows good runs in all of his last few starts. So it seems to be in good shape. I think should take care of this field, based on this nice post position here. So we got the 5 and the 6 in the 6th race. All right, let's move over to the 7th race of the day. 7th race, this is a 6 furlong grass sprint. They're going 6 furlongs on that flat grass course. These are maiden $50,000 claimers, state breds, 3-year-olds and up. I find this race to be a little bit tough. I'm putting 3 horses in. I know there's a favorite here in Proud Racer. This horse is 6-5 in the program. That's the 2 horse for Peter Miller. Ricardo Gonzalez takes the call. Gonzalez has been on this horse in all of his starts. He's shown some nice races, but he comes off a layoff. So I don't know if this horse is going to be ready off the bench. We're going to see. I mean, usually turf sprints, horses off a layoff do fine, but I don't know. It is a 50,000 claimer, so I don't know that we can put that much faith, in a 6-5 favorite in a maiden claimer like this. So we will put the horse in, the 2 horse. Going to put the 3 horse was Positive Times for Ryan Hansen. Ryan Hansen puts Edwin Maldonado on the horse. Maldonado rode this horse last time. This horse is dropping from special weights, which he has been running in, in his last several starts. Last 5 starts have been made in special weights. Has shown some decent ability. And, as I've talked about many times, when they drop into these 50,000 or drop into any maiden claimer for that level, they just seem to get faster. The difference in quality of horses seems to be there. And Positive Times, 3-1, certainly could be dangerous off the drop in class into the maiden claimers. And I'm also going to put the 5 horse. 5 horse, same story. This horse is trained by Stephen Miotti. Joel Rosario on the horse. Yep, that Joel Rosario. They did report that Joel Rosario was going to be coming over to California to ride in Southern California. Looks like he's got some live mounts today. Rosario certainly extremely capable. We've seen Joel Rosario dominate Southern California circuits, when things were a little more robust in California. So, I expect Joel Rosario to win a lot of races, coming into this climate there in California in this jocks room. So Rosario 6-1. Yeah, we'll take that any day. This horse is dropping into maiden claimers, as I mentioned. I like that move. Coming off a layoff. So, we'll see if Stephen Miotti has the horse ready off the layoff. Again, when the horses drop into the maiden claimers, they get a little faster. So we got the 2, 3, and the 5 in the 7th race. All right, let's go to the 8th race of the day. 8th race is a 6 furlong dirt sprint. This is your first level allowance race. For open company horses. And I'm going to be quite frank. I feel like I've been just having a hard time with these open allowance races. There's a lot of different type of horses that get put into these races. You've got horses that come off a maiden win. You've got horses coming out of the California ranks. Now, this, I think, is it's a tough race. You've got some lightly raced horses. You've got horses that are coming off long layoffs. We're going to see if these trainers have these horses ready. I'm going to put 2 horses in here. I'm going to go with the favorite, who is Private Gem. This horse is a short favorite in the program, being 7-5 in the program for Mark Glatt, Antonio Fresu here. Horse has shown nice ability, 4 wins and 5 starts and a second. Has gotten it done on the dirt, has gotten it done on the grass. Comes off a pretty long layoff, almost a year-long layoff. So something obviously happened the last time this horse ran, and the Thor's Echo winning that race there at Santa Anita. That's a stakes race for California-bred horses on the dirt. So, it looks like maybe, the training must be going well. Word must be out. This horse is doing well. And, the horse is 7-5 in the program. So we'll give the morning line maker respect, and we'll put Private Gem in there. I am going to also put the Last Straw. That's the 3 horse. The Last Straw coming in with some changes here. We've got a jock switch. Mirko DeMuro is off the horse. Mike Smith is on the horse. I'm going to say that's a positive jock switch. Mirko DeMuro was not winning races in his last, month or so of riding in Southern California. This being, or last couple months actually. And so I think it's a nice jock switch. We'll see if Mike Smith is ready to go on a sprint race. They're putting blinkers on the horse as well. So I'm going to respect the Mandela barn that they saw something. Now, the Last Straw is a very, very nicely bred horse. Now, a horse like this, you'd expect nice things out of this horse. Horses buy Into Mischief, and as we see, Into Mischiefs win everything. So that's beautiful breeding there on the sire side. And then this horse is by a Grade 1 winner in Bast. Bast won the Del Mar Debutante some years ago. So, again, very nice breeding out of this horse here. And, this horse won a really nice race, breaking his maiden back in February. I know I liked that horse that day. Horse broke the maiden nicely with a nice speed figure. Maybe the last time there was a bounce off that race. I don't know. But, tough to say. I mean, this horse is lightly raced, having 5 starts. Not even too sure what this horse is about. But 8-1, we're going to put this horse in the Last Straw. I don't think this is a very tough allowance field, so we'll see if the Last Straw is good enough to take care of this. So I'm going to put the 2 and the 3 there in the 8th race. All right, let's go to the 9th race of the day. 9th race is the final race, and they're doing something similar that they did on Saturday. They're putting the stake race, the feature, in as the last race of the day. So maybe Santa Anita wants the folks staying throughout the entire card, putting the $100,000 Siren Lure. Siren Lure, the $100,000 stakes, a listed stakes. They're going 6 furlongs on the flat grass, and these are for 4-year-olds. And I'm kind of wondering, I don't know why they didn't put the Siren Lure on the downhill course. If I remember correctly, I think Siren Lure was pretty good at that downhill turf course. But anyway, they decided to put on that 6 furlong flat grass. I think it's a nice field they got together for this $100,000 race. I'm going to put 4 horses here, hoping we got that live ticket, got 4 horses in coverage, see if we can get it paid off. Going to put the 1 horse with Sorrento Sky for Phil D'Amato, Antonio Fresu, 5-2 in the program. Fresu's got some live mounts. He could have a multiple win day. Sorrento Sky, certainly been in and around the California stakes races and the graded stakes, these sprints. Has shown some okay runs here at this flat grass course. Has done well in some of the other layouts there, like the 6.5 down the hill. The horse has done well in those races. So, definitely turf sprinting. We're going to see. I'm not the biggest fan of the 1 hole in these flat grass sprints, but we'll see if Fresu can take care of that and get the horse, a good trip. I think what's going to help the 1 horse, where I'm going to put in, is the 2 horse, who is Vlahos. Vlahos I'm also going to put in as a long shot. Vlahos is 20-1 in the program, trained by Luis Mendez trains this horse now. I know this horse was trained by Doug O'Neill for a good part of his career, and Maldonado takes the call. Maldonado's been on this horse for a while. Couple changes. We got blinkers on. As I mentioned, the trainer switch to Luis Mendez. Vlahos is, to me, looks like one way to go, speed, and that's what this horse has shown in his races. I think Vlahos being a speedy horse could also help Sorrento Sky by creating some room. Vlahos gets out from the 2 hole. I think that creates some room for the 1 to kind of determine where he wants to go. I'm going to put both of these horses in. Vlahos, as I mentioned, is a long shot. I'm thinking, if this horse ran some nice sprints in his life, this horse, can get out. Who knows? We'll see if he can take him to distance. But we'll put the 2 horse Vlahos in there. Going to put the 7 horse. 7 horse being Artislas. Artislas for Jeff Mullins, and Juan Hernandez takes the call here. Now, Hernandez has been on this horse the last couple times. Now, I liked Artislas when he first started out his career as a 2-year-old a couple years back. I thought this horse ran some nice races. I was expecting some big things. Seemed like after the horse got disqualified out of the Zuma Beach, things didn't just, I don't know, this didn't seem to go as well as probably was expected. But this horse is coming off a layoff. Last time we saw this horse was back in August at Del Mar. I thought the horse ran some nice races in their 3-year-old stakes series there at Del Mar. I thought the horse ran a nice race in the Oceanside as well as in the La Jolla. Got beat by a couple nice horses. Off the layoff, I'm going to trust Jeff Mullins. I think he's done well. He's certainly done well with turf horses. 10-1. Going to put Artislas in here. And then finally going to put the 9 horse. 9 horse being Boss Sully. For Brian Corner, Brian Corner puts up Joel Rosario on the horse. I don't know if, well, we talked about Rosario coming back. He's got some horses for Corner today. I don't know if these guys are going to be a good pairing. We'll see. But Boss Sully certainly has done some nice work in Southern California on the grass and, on turf sprints. So I'm going to put my trust into Joel Rosario that he's going to put a nice ride on this horse, get this horse in contention. This horse also comes off a layoff. So we'll see if Corner will have this horse ready to go off the layoff. The horse certainly has shown some good runs off layoffs, off breaks. So we'll see if they bring this, this horse is fresh. It looks like, this horse is really, kind of kicking down the barn doors, with workouts. Has been working out really well on the dirt track there at Santa Anita. So I like that. So we'll see Boss Sully at 5-1. We'll put that horse in there. So we've got the 1, 2, 7, and 9. All right, now let's recap the day and recap the bets. Okay, so for Mother's Day, May 10th, we've got a late pick 5 over at Santa Anita, which does start in the 5th race. So in the 5th race, we're going to start out this pick 5 with the 1, 3, 4, with the 5, 6, with the 2, 3, 5, with the 2, 3, with the 1, 2, 7, 9. Now that pick 5 today, that costs $72. We're doing this before scratches, so if scratches happen, definitely make amends to your tickets. So if you want to add to this ticket or subtract from this ticket, you got to play what fits you well. If you want to play the pick 3s within it, the pick 4, I just wish you the best of luck. Let's wish the folks over at Santa Anita a very happy Mother's Day and a very safe day of racing. Let's wish ourselves some great luck and some great trips. As we know, those great trips really can determine winning and losing in races. So as always, I thank you so much for watching Fast Horses today and listening to the picks. Thanks to everybody who's watched recently. We've got some increased viewers. Thank you so much. Some new subscribers as well. Thanks to everybody who have subscribed. If you haven't done so, hit that subscribe button for me. You can always like, dislike, make comments, make good comments, make bad comments. I promise to respond to everything, and let's create a discussion. So again, happy Mother's Day to everybody. Wishing you the best. Thanks for watching Fast Horses today, and we'll see you next week for more coverage. Thank you.